All right, this is part 2 of 13.7, and when we finish this, remind me to start a new recording for 13.6. All right, so these are distance problems, just like we were doing before. There's not much different. They should come much easier now because you have a lot more experience. So we're looking at the boat traveling 12 miles upstream and back again. If the rate of the current is 2 miles per hour, the whole trip took 3 1/5 hours. Find the speed of the boat in still water. Okay, so what we're looking for is the speed of the boat, the R. Okay, so I'm going to make my box just like I did before. And we're talking about going upstream and downstream. Okay, upstream and downstream. Okay, so what can I fill in right away? What is given? What's the easiest piece that's given, Sarah? The distance. So upstream, what is the distance? 12. And downstream, what is the distance? Okay, now sometimes they might say you went 4 up and 12 back, or 6 up and 7 back. Doesn't have to be there and back. But if they imply there and back, the distance is the same. Okay, now, let's go. If the rate of the current is 2 miles per hour, let's talk about the rate. How are we going to write it? Greg? So there's the speed of the boat and minus 2, because going upstream is going against the current. It slows you down. And going downstream would be R plus 2. It speeds you up by 2 miles per hour. Now, in the homework problems, they might give you the speed of the boat and have you look for the current. In that case, if the speed is 15, you're going to do plus or minus the current. Do you understand the difference? Yes or no? So if they give you, there's the speed of the boat and the speed of the water. So they either give you the speed of the boat or they give you the current speed, the speed of the water. In this one, they're giving us the current speed. I think 11 and 12, they want you to find how fast the water's moving. What? Okay, I think it's 12 too. All right. So now time. Did they tell us the time? No, because you did it with me yesterday, so I want to just... Did they tell us the time? You did it with me yesterday. Sydney.
They give you the total time.
The total time, so do I put it in this... Where would I put that?
Could you maybe write 3 1/5 hours minus, like, the other time?
We don't know the other time.
Like, minus X.
Okay, Miriam? I'm asking, what am I doing with 3 1/5 hours?
Oh, you put it,
Equal to. So I add that third row because it's the combination of both times. Now let's look at it this way. It's time 1 plus time 2 equals the total time. Right? And the total time is 16/5. Okay, questions? Okay, so now we are ready to, we've already got our rate. Now we're ready to write time. Now, they're giving us nothing else about time. So, I'm going to remind you, when distance equals rate times time, if they give me nothing, I can always get the t alone and rewrite t in terms of d and r. So, I'm doing t is equal to distance over rate. So, Sarah, what would it be, this Sarah?
12 over R minus 2 and then 12 over R plus 2.
And that there becomes my equation. I've got the plus sign in the middle, the equals right here. So it becomes 12 over R minus 2 plus 12 over R plus 2 equals 16 over 5. Any questions? All right, let's continue. So now what would I do to clear that denominator, Sarah?
You can multiply by r minus 2 times r plus 2, and then and 5.
And 5. All three. And when I distribute to the first term, what do I get?
60 times r plus 2.
Yep. Okay, and when I distribute to the second term, Hannah, what do I get?
You get 12 times 5 times r minus 2.
R minus 2, so that would be 60. And is it plus or minus?
Plus.
Okay, I got to bring that plus sign down. And when I distribute to the last one, what do I end up with? Santi?
You get 16 r squared minus 4.
Perfect. They're not going to multiply it, but I would have done that too. Multiplied it out. Just gone right away. He just did our difference of squares. He knows that very quickly. I would have jumped to r squared minus 4 too. Now we distribute 60r plus 120. Why don't you guys finish it up? Hi. He took it at the end of first period. Okay, let's check our work. So after you've distributed, we know that on the left side we can cancel negative 120, positive 120, and it should combine like terms. 120r equals 16r minus 64. I'm going to subtract 120r. Now, can we simplify this?
Yes.
By, Sarah? Divide out an 8, and we are left with 2r squared minus 15r minus 8. How do you want to solve the next part? Yes. Lead coefficient factoring. Let's see what they do. They're giving us some room. Okay, so we'll do lead coefficient factoring, which would be what multiplies to negative 16 and adds to negative 15. And 1. So I get 2r squared minus 16r plus r minus 8. And I'm going to factor by grouping. I'm going to pull out a 2r, and I'm left with r minus 8. I'm going to pull out a plus 1, and I'm left with r minus 8. 2r plus 1 times r minus 8 equals 0. And then r equals 8, or 2r plus 1 equals 0. R equals negative 1/2. What is the best answer for the question? The 8. Because we can't have a negative rate. So what does that mean? 8 what? Miles per hour is the rate of the boat with no current. Okay, that's all there really is to it for this part of 13.7. So now you have the ability to finish up those. And we're going to move on to 13.6. I'm going to stop the recording and we'll start a new recording.